Hello, Dr. Bridget Malewezi here. One of our final videos in terms of your planning for your Harvard Lead Fellowship. Myself, I'm a medical doctor, public health practitioner, and a current 2021-2022 Harvard Lead Fellow. And so I've been doing a couple of these videos sharing about the application process. We're getting close to the wire, but hopefully these videos are helping you prepare and plan your application if you're applying. Again, this fellowship is for women in global health with about 15 years experience, so mid-level career, mid-career women in global health, to grow your leadership capacity and expand your reach and opportunities. So in terms of everything I think I've shared about some of the letters and essays and that you need to do, in terms of looking at what you would be doing for your essays, one of the key questions I've been receiving is around the project. What should I be doing with this project? You know, how extensive and how deep does it need to be? So the actual write-up for your project is going to be about 500 words. So it's not going to be like a whole thesis or a proposal. It's actually quite straightforward. It's a streamlined, high-level overview of what you think you can be doing for this project. Again, it probably has to align with women in global health and, you know, leadership and other capacity, but you can do anything you want to do, especially if you're, again, remember that you're doing this within your institutional capacity, so you can align it to the work that you do already, maybe just making sure that you're overseeing. I think it's really an opportunity for you to lead on a project by yourself, and that's what it is. So it's not necessarily that it has to be discovery science. It doesn't have to be anything like out of the box. Again, actually the best thing to do is to do it within your institutional framework, because a lot of the support and resources required for the project will have to come from your institution. So you can do whatever as long as it fits in, and it could be things that you're interested in as well. So it doesn't need to be like, you know, going off to start dig information from anywhere. It just needs to be a project that aligns to, again, your whole your sort of whole application. So it's important for you to think about this in terms of it's a package and that has to fit in. So for myself, as I mentioned, I applied as a Women in Global Health Fellow, for my position as a Vice President of Women in Global Health in the Malawi chapter. So my project is related to mentorship for women in my institution. So again, remember to put that framework in terms of whatever work you're doing, you're not necessarily jumping out, but you're just trying to build on that to build your capacity. And that also makes it interesting for your institution, because, for example, for myself, when I was developing my project, I discussed with the president of the institution as well as another board member. And so we discussed about what would be a helpful project for the work that we're already doing. And that's how we ended up on mentorship. So it's important to think of this project as not something like separate, but incorporative of your application and ways in which you're developing. A lot of other questions are around, so will I do this on campus or will I do it at home? Again, as you remember that a lot of this, the year of your fellowship is broken down into in-person and virtual. A lot of the work in the first 3 months is preparatory, so just preparing, and then you'll do the classes. And you don't have to do the project during the class time, but you'll realize that, for example, the in-class period ends around May, so you could potentially actually plan for your project to be done after, when you come back from like your in-person. So you don't have to like feel pressured, because I think a lot of people feel pressured, like, oh my gosh, what project am I going to do? It has to be like this huge, big, major thing. It's just something that needs to align. And again, when you look at the number of words you're allowed to write, there's not much you can write, but you need to put it in that format where you can be able to speak about the problem, you know, sort of your approach, and your methodology and what you hope to achieve. So it's going to be like a sort of an abstract. If you think about it, it's actually the size of an abstract. If you're the way that you're going to submit it, it's going to be like, this is the problem, this is what I'm thinking I'm going to do, achieve to address the problem, or, you know, sort of engage this problem, and this is hopefully what I'll be able to achieve at the end of it. And that should be enough of an overview. It's not going to be too challenging and taxing. So I hope this is helpful for those who are planning to apply. Don't feel pressured and oppressed to try and get this like major, huge, you know, project going. Again, you will have time to develop it and refine it further once you've gotten the approval. So again, at this time is just to make sure that you have a concept in place, engaging with your institution to make sure that you're planning properly. I hope this is helpful. And again, for those who are applying, reach out to any of us as fellows. We're really keen and willing to help any of those who are interested in applying. Again, also just, you know, reach out, and we're open and hopefully looking forward to those of you applying to join us in our cohort, at least as the next cohort in our small little community of Harvard Lead Fellows. Thank you and all the best.